keen to find out about Rites. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for having us on. It's
Yeah.
exciting.
Cool, man. Cool. So how did Rites come about? Because obviously, like a few of you are involved in other bands and things. What sort of first sparked Rites?
Yes. So we started actually just like jamming together for the hell of it.
Hmm.
We were living together at the time, and then Samara just picked up one of my guitars and just started playing. I think it was like "We Lost the Sea" or something, just off the top of her head, and I was like, "Hang on, can I just write some like riffs under that?" So then, yeah, we wrote the 2-track which we've just released now, "Depletion" and "Suspire."
Mm.
But then we've actually written a full length album as well, which is all recorded, mixed, and mastered, ready to go.
Yeah, wow.
So
Okay.
we've been sitting on this material for a number of years now, kind of just making sure it's the right time for us, and we've got the right lineups as well. Like I play in a band called Earthrot.
Hmm.
So pre-COVID, we're doing a lot of touring and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, we've
So we were hanging out, and then I filled that void, I suppose. I was like, I had a bunch of stuff written, and then I was kind of just playing that, and he's like, I can't do anything with this. Like, what is this? And I was like, yeah, you can, like, try harder. And then it sort of just turned into kind of doomy stuff, and there was a lot of things that I wrote just like in my bedroom on an acoustic, but I didn't do anything with them because they never felt whole. And then kind of meeting Tom and like putting some big riffs behind it and stuff just made it kind of a thing. And then we're like, well, I think we have a thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then we recorded drums and some vocals with Ron Pollard from Tangle Thoughts of Leaving.
Mm-hmm.
And then we finished the album and the 2-track at the end through Oracle in Malaga, actually. Made my J Huxtable. He does a lot of good work. We've finally got our lineup all sorted out, and we've got the rigs that we're happy with, which was like a big part, because like both of us kind of feel that if you can't play it live and do it justice live, then it's kind of not worth doing. So it took us a while to get that down, but we've got our first show coming up at the Rosemount, supporting Twin Serpents, and Rory, our drummer, is obviously in that band as well. It was kind of funny. I remember before Twin Serpents started, I was talking to Brendan because they were looking for a drummer, and I said, well, Rory's very good. He's definitely got the time. He's the kind of man that's played with 50, 60-year-old blues musicians for like a really long time. So like the guy's just got it.
Mm-hmm.
So he's ended up
organic thing we're going for.
Yeah, definitely. He's got that like 70s Ian Pace Bonham thing just down, which is rare. Guys that don't overplay, and he just fit with us perfectly. So we ended up just sending him just like the full album and 2-track instrumentally. And a lot of drummers they don't really get much. They kind of just get handed, hey, here's the beat. You're playing an AC/DC beat, and then you're doing this, and then you're doing this. But we want it to be more of a kind of collaborative process with it. But just with that guy's background, anything that he recorded the album and wrote it in about a week, I think, or something like that. It was, proper musicians doing proper things while we're trying to figure out what we're doing and get it all right still.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that's kind of the start of the band, really. So play a couple of shows over the next couple of months, and then work towards releasing the album, which would be pretty great.
Yeah,
but this one's just like a self-release. We've just done some PR, and just thought we'd just get a couple of songs out there and play a couple of shows, and hopefully some people pick it up.
Yeah, man. Cool. So what was the difference, Samara? Like you were saying, it was an acoustic thing to start with. Did it still have that kind of downer sort of, doomy sound with that? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I didn't really know what I was writing. Like I'm just kind of doing it. But the sort of I don't know how to explain that. I just do it. I don't really think about it. It definitely has a darkness about it. It's slow and it's kind of maybe my playing has maybe a flatness to it that I kind of, a lot of people might criticized as like not having accents and things, but I feel like that's part of it. It's just sort of sad.
Yeah.
But like Samara listened to like a lot of like we listen to a lot of different music. So like you listen to like a lot of Cat Power and that kind of
influences.
90s, a lot of 90s stuff as well. But then we also just both love riffs. So but yeah, it's a bit of a unique sound, kind of different to anything that I've done in terms of bands before. But it's yeah, it's interesting playing slow and playing some different dynamics, different feel, and yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, cool. And was it like you're saying you're getting ready for gigs and stuff? Was that tricky to translate sort of what you had in mind to live, or is that kind of did that come pretty easily, you know?
Well, I suppose like you know, we're quite involved in the recording process, especially with the album. You know, there's a lot of different amps and tracks on there. But you know, the rigs that we've used throughout the recording process, you know, it was a bit of trial and error to see what worked, because we really wanted that to translate live, you know. So you can use a lot of fake VSTs and all sorts of things, getting it sounding great on the album, but if it doesn't sound organic and it doesn't sound real, then it just hits a bit differently live, I think.
Yeah. No,
I think it was the other way for us. Like it was hard to get the production to sound as organic as we wanted without it sounding like a rough live recording. So we wanted all the character in there. Like we didn't want to lose, you know, like the sound of the strings when your finger slides over them and stuff. Like I didn't want to lose all of that, because when I play alone on an acoustic, that's all the stuff that gives it what it is. Like I wanted that to stay. But then retranslating it back from what it became after we produced it back into something live that's got a good balance is kind of it's super tricky. Probably won't sound anything like it live, but it's gonna be sick.
It'll be too loud. It's fun.
So is there acoustic on stage, or have you just taken those acoustically written things and translated them to, you know, electric and that kind of thing?
Yeah. We both play electric guitars live. We didn't use the acoustic because ultimately it just wouldn't compete with the big sounds that we have from the bass and the other guitar. Yeah,
no, fair enough. That's cool. So tell us about the two tracks. So Suspire is like the little shorter one, right? And then Depletion. So what are what are they about?
We kind of wrote the thing as it's, you know, like obviously like the music industry is very like single based at the moment. Like we've always been album people at the same time, but objectively, you know, we kind of we wrote a single and then we're like, okay, but
we kind of wrote all of it at once and it was too long for a record. So we peeled that off to be a 2-track. So Suspire and Depletion together are like a really good summary of what to expect from the album.
Yeah, nice. So they won't be on the album, but it's like an intro or sort of thing,
Which
to you
is
guys.
why, you know, Depletion's not really a single. It's a very long song and it's got a lot of different elements. But yeah, it's got kind of a bit of everything that we ended up with on the album.
Yeah, cool.
Except as well, it was a good opportunity for us to get, you know, work on that production. So, you know, although we are a new band, like there's been some definitely a lot of growth in the recording. Although that's you know that's kind of just been up for our ears so far. There's definitely like a lot. We learned a lot doing this 2-track and then applying it to the album.
Yeah, Tom's got heaps of experience, but we went on a kind of trying to do this a bit more low budget. So we tracked everything ourselves. We had it edited, and then we did reamps with but it was really just Tom doing reamps. The sound guy helped for sure and had input, but like Tom was a big part of that. So I forgot the question.
That's cool. Yeah, no, cool. What about the cover artwork and stuff? How'd that come together? It's got a kind of a cool, you know, green and black and whitey kind of thing going on.
Yeah, so like the artist is someone I've worked with through Earthrot a couple of years ago, overseas. But Yeah, originally it kind of didn't have color and it was just, you know, like a black and white image. But I don't know, we've kind of
we love green.
Yeah,
We like the picture.
That's cool.
The artist's a cool guy who did it.
Yeah. But then for the album, you know, we're taking like a bit of a different turn in terms of the artwork. Going for like a more of a photographic kind of thing. But yeah, it was kind of hard to find an image that, you know, you kind of want to represent something so new. Especially music that's kind of got so much mood and feeling. It can be hard for that to translate, I think, sometimes. So that's why we're kind of quite happy with the artwork. I think it represents it quite well as a good little introduction to kind of what we've got coming up.
For me, I don't think art and like the words and the images it's very hard to relate that to the music. The music comes from just how I feel. I don't know how to pick a picture that works for that, but we did. It looks cool.
Yeah, it's hard to do.
Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, what about lyrically? What's Depletion all about? Like, what are you guys singing about?
Yes. You gonna go or me? So like the 2-track, it's kind of like a so lyrically it's kind of written like a monologue, and it describes, you know, society and how all the different parts are kind of just slowly crumbling around us, and you know, you're left with the individual in the middle, kind of alone and trying to figure out their own path and working it out. But yeah, I mean, we have kind of kept it a bit open lyrically as well, because we did struggle, because some of the music is so layered and there's so much going on.
We weren't even going to have vocals originally.
Yeah, we were thinking about it being a instrumental thing at the start, just so we could just make sure all those layers come through. But then, and it was a fine line, you know, not doing too much vocals, because, you know, there's so much going on as it is. But yeah, it took us a while to get the balance right. But I think we've finally gotten there, which is good. There's been a couple of iterations of vocals for, you know, these tracks and tracks coming up on the new album. But I mean, we've taken time with it. We've taken a good couple of years, and you know, normally a band would kind of work it out on the gigs and trial by fire kind of thing. But you know, although it's taken us a while, I think it's given us, like a good end product. And a live show will be decent, good tone, and we're quite happy with how things sound. Really.
Yeah.
Lyrically, we worked in a really interesting way. Like, we kind of put down lyrics. One of us put down lyrics, and then we just sort of handed it over to the other person. So without much explanation of what we were writing about. So it was quite organic. Both of those songs together have basically they're addressing the disconnectedness that we have to the natural world and the way that we're losing I suppose it's a theme through the whole album, but that we're losing connection with each other and we're losing connection with nature, and where the planet though will subsist without us. Like, we are not as important as we think we are. If you look back along, you know, an ancient timeline, the earth can sort of recover from the things that we're doing.
But we can't.
Cool. I guess away from rights for a little bit, you said Cat Power earlier. What else have you guys been listening to?
So I suppose like our influences for this band are quite hard. You know, like I like a lot of old goth stuff, like, you know, Sisters of Mercy and The Cure, and you know, like we've got a lot of our music, especially the clean tones, is quite heavily chorus based as well, just as a kind of like homage to that kind of era. But then, you know, we listen to all sorts of stuff. We listen to like a lot of pretty much every doom subgenre we listen to, but like we listen to a lot of European stuff as well, because, you know, a lot of the kind of doom that's I suppose in trend at the moment is, you know, all based around stoner, sleep, kind of Paul Bearer kind of stuff. But we listen to, and like I always have, like I used to play in a band called Advent Sorrow as well, and there was a lot of those kind of influences in there in parts.
I think when we wrote this, I was listening to Chelsea Wolfe, Ilva, Swallow the Sun, Russian Circles.
Yeah.
What else do we have on the playlist?
Esoteric.
Yeah, Esoteric.
Yeah, a bunch of Funeral Doom that we like, but doesn't quite work with us, but we still like it. And if we can capture a bit of the mood, that's nice.
Yeah, man. No, cool. That's good.
Yeah, Tank was leaving.
And then we're big
Oh,
black metal fans as well, which is probably it would be obvious kind of probably listening to the album we're due to release. But yeah, there's a couple of blast beats in there. 100%.
Okay, cool.
Can't do a heavy metal release without blast beats. You know, you can
Yeah.
have some beautiful melodies and you can have some nice vocal lines, but there still needs to be a bit of aggression in there. And
Sure.
like Rory, the drummer, he listens to all sorts of stuff as well. Like we all went to Mayhem whenever that was in Perth a while ago, and we're big fans of extreme music. But yeah, I don't know, building the mood and something that hits you is kind of our goal, I suppose.
Yeah, cool. And so you're putting the album out independently as well, yeah?
I've had some chats with a few labels. But
yeah, we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
I mean, figured we'd kind of put this one out under our own steam.
Get started.
Yeah, get started, play a few shows, and then kind of shop the album around then. But yeah, I mean, it's a possibility. You know, like there's a couple of good record labels in Australia at the moment, especially. You know, not even looking at Europe and stuff like that. There's a lot of good labels actually in Australia at the moment. It's a good time to be I suppose like now an emerging artist, really. And you know, and you know, stuff like this as well. Like this is fantastic to get on here and have a chat about some riffs. You know, like there's nothing more that I enjoy doing than just talking about riffs. That's the best thing.
yeah. No, that's good, man. That's cool. Yeah. I've got to ask, what happened to your arm, mate? Actually, you got some been wrapped up
dude.
there.
I'm a mental health worker, and I was doing some work a while ago, and it needs a 4-week break apparently.
That's how long we got, pretty much, till our show, so it's going to be fine.
Oh, there you go.
But then again, you know, running 65 BPM instead of 240, I'm pretty sure it'll be all right. Hey?
No, cool. Good.
There's not too many notes per set.
Yeah.
For me, anyway. Samara's doing all the heavy lifting. Samara, all the clean and lead stuff live is all Samara. I'm just sitting there dooming out with some kind of stereo rig, just masking my mistakes. Pretty much, it's good.
No, good. Yeah. Well, that's the beauty of that kind of stuff, right? So kind of you can kind of swim in it, like big sound, big mood.
Yeah. As long as we can work out kind of what's going on and keep up ourselves, then it'll be fine.
Cool. Awesome. Cool. Well, look, Tom, Samara, thanks heaps for your time. I'm definitely keen to hear the rest of these songs, man. This sounds good. I enjoyed the single. It's good stuff. Yeah,
good stuff. Thanks, man. I appreciate the support. It's it's good to have it out there finally after a couple of years of us being perfectionists and slow and
having wrist injuries
and attention seeking and that kind of stuff. You know, we got that.
Yeah, it's always cool. All right, have a good one, guys. Cheers.
Cheers, dude. Have a good one.
Yeah.